Good morning, guys. How's everyone? Everyone love waking up with me? What's the time? 8:30. I've been awake since like 5. Anyway, I love to wake up early and catch the prana early in the morning. There's yogic books written about this as well. You know, the 4 a.m. prana. Everything's quiet. It's like going up to the top of a mountain. You're above the conscious grid of the people. The hive mind grid, you might say. Anyway, here is consciousazine.net, the old Facebook page, eh? That's my old YouTube channel there, I think. Not on Twitter. It was like 7 years ago I made the account and never used it. What the fuck does sprinkler mean? What the hell is that there for? Plastic bottle? Anyway, let's go to the website here. So I just wanted to quickly take you through how I achieve my long fasts. You know, the 20, the 30-day, the 40-day fasts. How I achieve my longer fasts. We'll pretty much discuss it from just a over-the-top skim over. We're not going to go deep into every little area or each part or each technique. That is why I give health consultations. For this, you would definitely want to get the large consultation, not just a half an hour phone consultation, because I just won't be able to go deep enough into it or help you enough. For this kind of thing, I would really recommend my either basic health consultation, which is $111 for 2.5 hours over Skype or Google Hangouts or something, FaceTime, and you can also get the advanced consultation, which I've forgotten the price, but you can look in the merchandise bartering page here in Consciousazine. Anyway, for today, we're going to go to the page that's associated with all the fasting here. Conscious knowledge page. There it is. You should check the yoga meditation healing page if you're new to my YouTube channel. There's a lot of good articles and stuff. You know, this content is not all from me. This is thousands and thousands of authors that I've crammed into one website for you guys. This used to be a member page. I took over. I don't even talk to the girl anymore, and I've altered the page to some degree. Sorry about the chickens in the background, the natural chickens here making all the noise. Figments of one's imagination, image and action are real. It's up to your brain to constrain how so. Damn, I wrote that 4 years ago. Nice. So this page has a lot of information on sun gazing and fasting. Good old HRM. Now, I like to sun gaze in the afternoon. I don't practice it in the morning. According to his method, in the morning and the evening, the sun gazing should be done to increase the sun gazing minutes. I don't do it so religiously. You know, it's interesting because I'm not robotic, habitual with anything. So I always eat different, I always act different, I'm always different. And I should hope you are too, because the organic portal robot humans, they are always the same and over consistent. So what's interesting is that in the afternoon, I find it much more relaxing, the sun gaze, and I get more benefit out of it. So I'm not always doing it for fasting, but since this video is for fasting, you know, if you want to do it for fasting, you need to do it in the morning as well. It's very important because that morning the morning sun gaze will really take care of the pathogens a bit more. In the afternoon, it's more like a soulful relaxing and getting into deep thought. I love the afternoon. The best time to sun gaze is when it's like orange, when the sun's fully orange. The whole point is that there's less UVs coming through the atmosphere. Anyway, you can learn about HRM and all his methods. It just teaches you how to build up the minutes, like it says there in the paragraph. So if you want to use it for fasting, that's when, you know, I'll do the 2 times per day, in the morning and the evening. But, you know, usually I just do it in the evening unless I'm undergoing a fast of some sort where I feel like using it. And, you know, it's very interesting because I've done so many fasts over the last 8 years of being the site creator of Consciousness-zine. You know, I've done tomato fast, done galangal and ginger, just galangal and ginger. I remember that was for a week. That was intense. That left like cavities, you know, where bacterial colonies would have been in my body, and to the point where you become, you know, inflamed while you're doing it, but because they're so anti-inflammatory, it ends up healing and becoming astringentizing, I was going to say, becoming more astringent. So, I mean, I've done all kinds of fasts, papaya, pawpaw. I remember I did 2 weeks just on avocado in, I think, 2014. I like that, you know, because that's fats. I've also done olives, countless fasts. I can't even remember them all. I've done dry fasting, juice fasting, smoothie fasting. So where you wake up and you're just having 2 smoothies, 3 smoothies in the day. See, just because it's a fast doesn't mean you have to eat nothing. That's called dry fasting, where you don't drink and you don't eat. And sure, I've done that as well. I don't set records with my dry fasting. I don't go, oh, I'm going to do 2 weeks dry fast, 3 weeks dry fast. I'm going to go for 40 days. I don't do that because there are implications on the body. And, you know, where this has all come from in essentially Ayurveda, right, from India, they had to do this stuff out of necessity. You know, the mother of invention, necessity is the mother of invention, right? And in India, you know that the people are quite impoverished, and, you know, when you're a yogi in India, I'm guessing it would have been quite bad for them over the millennia, and so they developed all these techniques to ease their pain, like yoga asanas and, right, all of this stuff. And when I do fasts, I do a lot more yoga, I do a lot more sitting on the beach, a lot more meditations and stuff like that. All it really is for me, is about clearing my body, and sometimes it can be about clearing my mind as well. I've also sat in the forest for a month. Before I was at this camping ground in Uruguay where I am right now, I did a month in the forest where I was just in there pretty much the whole time. I went to the shop to get some noodles at the start, and I basically just ate noodles. I even had salt water and noodles. I've tried some fasts, I'll tell you what. So you've got to be careful with this stuff. You can, you know, injure yourself. I'm not a medical practitioner, so it's like fully illegal to, you know, give you certain advice. That's why all I'm doing here is explaining what I've done in the past, and some tricks and treats and trades and some tricks of the trade, you know what I mean? So yeah, I've done some interesting fasts. There was also a time in 2013 when I started the Food Plant Teaching Series, the $30 Bandit Food Plant Teaching Series that I do now for donations of $30 or more. I started that, and when I started that, the week before I ate lemons, and I would eat the lemon whole, and it was only 1 lemon per day. And I think it was for 4 days. What happened was that was the catalyst, not having food. As a student in my Bachelor of Business IT majors, I had 4 days to wait for my next payment, for my student payment allowance, and I had no food. And what I did, I went, you know what, I could have went picking greens and herbs like dandelion and stuff, whatever, but I didn't feel like, doing any of that. I said, all right, I'm just going to do a fast here, because I was heavy on reading. So at the time I was reading a lot, and I was in the university absolutely all day. It was 16 hours, and then I'd fall asleep, get up at midnight and create consciouszine.net. That's why there's spelling mistakes everywhere, because I made this out of love for you all at midnight often. Mind you, within a degree, yeah. So I had my schoolwork to do, my programming and business stuff to do, and yeah, there was this 4-day period where I said, you know what, I'm just going to eat lemons, because I used it as a clearing. Might sound weird to people who don't know about fasting, but I knew that the lemons would decalcify me, and all these bacterial colonies and all this, they all want to concretize, right? And as part of spiritual alchemy is to decalcify, because it allows more higher light to go through the body or the cellular structure. And don't forget that you're made up more of parasites, because you're in realm parasiticos. The Human Bacterium Project has verified this, that your body is more viruses, bacteria, and so on, little critters, than you are your own cells. You're less your own cells than you are parasites. It's very interesting, isn't it? Check it out. Do the research. It's true. So I knew that lemon would, clear all that out, bring me back to my cellular structure more. And that, for me, is what fasting mostly is about. It's been via necessity, about saving money at times as well, because I was a student for 8 years at Southern Cross University in Gold Coast, Australia. So, at times I would just surf and have little money. So I was very purified. You're on the beach with the crystals, you get into the water, which is like a washing machine, the ocean, right? And then I'd come back and do fasts. And hence my name is Walking Crystal. And so it's very interesting, because this time I did the lemon fast, I'd eat the lemon whole. I would spit out some of the seeds, but I would also eat some of the seeds, because I know that, nature does it in a sort of perfected way, where the meat of the lemon is sugary, and some of the things around the skin, that pith, is anti-cancerous, and in opposition to the flesh of the fruit, in most cases with fruits. And it's also a case where the seed has cadmium and all this stuff. Now, they say not to eat it, and don't eat the apple seeds and stuff, but I occasionally eat some seeds as well to balance it all out. And it will kill certain bacteria when they come in touch with the bitter compounds in seeds. So in the back of your throat and stuff. So yeah, I was eating lemons. And you know what? They tasted good. I'll never forget this, how good that lemon tasted when I would bite into it at the end of the day. I'd wait until about 4:30, 5 o'clock, when I was, really getting like the notification, okay, you haven't eaten anything today, and I'd be like, all right, I'm just going to put something in so I can keep studying, right? And give my body that feeling of you've eaten something and satiation. So anyway, there's a lot of information on sun gazing, as you can see. A few articles. That's all got to do with HRM, that guy. More on it. Lots of information there. Now, there are other channels which are trying, within the Organic Portals Relative Movement, who are trying to take the information from my website, say they do it, and then pretend like I can't do it properly or something. So you're going to have to watch for these channels. I don't want to name their names anymore, because it's like a shout out and it sends people to their channel. But keep in mind that these channels are relative to the Organic Portals Movement, and anybody who's been on this channel for 2 years would know exactly the two channels I'm always talking about, who seem to be thoroughly pitted against me and One of them even makes up rumors about me. So we know that channel because I've made like 4 videos on that idiot. And recently he's made a video trying to act like, he does pranayama, and he's got that off my website. Because he didn't talk about that 2 years ago at the start of the organic portal movement. Did you Baphomet portal? Yes, everybody should know who I'm talking about now. And he'll try and act like I don't know what I'm doing or something. You'll see him right now on his new channel, he's trying to give references against me. But it's very interesting because he acts like he can do it, but he never used to talk about anything but chiropractics. Pathetic. Anyway. So I thought I'll do this video and show how much more advanced I am than him. So let's get a little bit deeper then. So not just on the food level, right? You've got to study each food, understand what nutrition you're putting in your body. That's, for me, been the biggest part of fasting. But then there is stuff like using the crystals, right? Because each crystal, each stone interacts with your cellular structure differently because they contain different energies. If you get a quartz crystal, if it's a smoky or a pink quartz, or I don't know, a black quartz, they're all different in energy. And then there's, obsidian, which is not quartz, and so on and so forth. So all these rocks and crystals and all that, they really help me fast because they help me connect with the energy. And what that does is circumnavigates my mental light or mental spirit body, connecting with any parasites, and it also helps clear out the parasites. And there are mental astral parasites, not just physical correlations of those parasites, like the worm in your gut or the bacterial colony in your tooth, right? I'm talking that there's astral parasites. These are astral forms, like the 4th dimensional reptilians. They're an astral parasite trying to regain or gain lower vibratory experience by coming through human organic portal bodies, for instance. Anyway, let's start here. Orexin, a protein which regulates wakefulness, is somewhat dependent on our blood sugar levels. So this would be another thing turned on and contributing to alertness and loftiness while fasting. I wrote that years ago, Shaman Dr. Kauenberg. So keep in mind, I've been doing this for years, and these people who now go through my website and pretend like they do it have only just started practicing, and that's why they cannot give you any good information like this. Oh, sorry, Baphomet portal, to fully expose you and your nefarious ways. So there's Orexin. Look into Orexin. Or there's Prahlad Jani. That's the guy who went to a cave. Look at his eyes. He's just pinging. He's barely here. And he went to a cave when he was 7 and hasn't eaten since he was like 7 years old. And you can look further into Prahlad Jani. Very interesting guy. A holy man in India. 83 years old. Interesting. Yeah, he says that he gets a little thing in the back of his throat, which is like the goddess giving him like nourishment. And scientists will, be idiot organic portal reductionists and say, oh, he's eating his snot. This is not the case. And if it was, it's infused with things like amrita and, all these energies like that. So, if you don't know about amrita and amaranth, oh, it says it here actually, amrita. Well, he reckons the third eye is the amrita chakra. Interesting. I can't remember that. Oh, that's interesting. So he's saying relates to the amrita chakra, third eye chakra. Yeah, well, amrita flows in from the third eye. I just didn't know they correlated it like that. So there's also amaranth, and they have different energies. Amrita is more crystalline, and amaranth to me is like a fog. It's like a fog energy, but pure fog on an early morning. So it can be nourishing. Like when you're walking along the grass, a survival trick, because I do a series called Man vs. Matrix, so you'll probably have seen this on Bear Grylls, where he tied the Bear Grylls Man vs. Wild. He tied his shirt to his leg and walked through the African Zambian grass in Zambia, and he was saying this is a way to collect water because the morning dew gets trapped on the shirt he tied to his leg, and then he'll wring out the shirt and get a little drink in the morning. So that's similar to Amaranth. Amrita is more of a hard crystalline vibration, and so what you do is you take these energies into your body, and they actually assimilate to your body. And it's interesting, they'll make ion channels open. Different ion channels opening, means different Krebs or citrus cycle regulation, right? So on and so forth. By the way, BAPHOMET portal, why can't you talk like this about fasting if you really fast? Also, we know that BAPHOMET portal, he doesn't fast much because he's irate in all of his videos and eats a lot of meat as well. So he's just bullshit, and they're just going through my website to act like they're spiritual. Don't forget, I made this many, many years ago, before the organic portal movement even existed. Anyway. A rather obvious reason for the consumption of food due to the energy it gives us is the end result of the metabolic process. Yes, a less obvious reason amongst the general public is for the production of coenzyme called ATP. So, fat, protein, and sugars, they break down into ADP and then ATP. And ATP is the base energetic system of your mitochondrial cellular structure, which is mitochondria are drivers of consciousness. So you actually activate yourself. It's not just about high vibration or low vibration. You're activating consciousness. You become more conscious. It's very interesting. And I mean through your cellular structure. What this translates to is becoming more sensitive. Okay. So one thing on this ATP is that when you do Amaranth and Amrita, it somehow translates into energy. And it's like you open up your nadis more. It's like the spin increases, and yes, hence vibration. And you open up your 72,000 nadis more when you're fasting, and you get into contacting energies like Amrita and Amaranth. So it also helps. Here you can see DMT production. So if you people want to get more vision, DMT is called the spirit molecule. That's right. Effects of melatonin, which turns into DMT, and potentially for the internal DMT production, can come and help sleep disorders, right? And can come from fasting. So read all this in depth. Now, I wanted to talk about leptin and ghrelin as well. I also get into contact with leptin. Leptin is the suppressant. Here we go, higher levels of leptin in the body lead to appetite suppression. Ghrelin, and this is the way I remember it, stomach grumbling means ghrelin. Ghrelin, grumbling, right? So ghrelin is primarily in the stomach and is known as the appetite increaser hormone. So what I do when I consciously do my long fasts, this is what you have to get into. You must get into the Amrita and Amaranth, clearing out the cellular structure. And then you also need to get into this ghrelin and leptin meditative state. After a week, I'm all over it. Sometimes it takes a few days, and it's like your body goes left, right, upward and down and all over the place, cleaning itself out, toxic dumping, and that can have bad effects. And so that's one reason you want to know what you're doing, because you can be dumping a lot of toxins while you're fasting, and that can actually make you sick. So if you're, not super healthy, you want to slowly get into intermittent fasting, cut out, macro foods, and get into things like spirulina and, smoothies and juices and stuff, obviously. I think you guys know all that, right? That's all the obvious stuff. But here's what I wanted to say, when I get on my long fasts, when I do, the full month or something, I've had to do this just because I've been on a student wage for so long back in Australia. And now, I don't have an official job in Uruguay either. So I've done this over here in Uruguay as well. And I can do this simultaneously while eating plants, but it's difficult. Because as soon as you eat something, it activates your physical body again. And it activates ghrelin. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to focus on the energy of leptin and melatonin. Melatonin is actually a appetite suppressant as well. It's not just a sleep molecule and on the way to DMT, the vision molecule or spirit molecule. Melatonin is also a heavy antioxidant, and you feel it hit your stomach. The receptors around your stomach are lined, and they're associated with vitamin D as well, which is a steroidal hormone. So that's why I mentioned sun gazing on this page. So you can see how much more advanced I am and that I really do this. Hey, BAPHOMET Portal. The guy's an idiot. You should stay off his channel because he is a BAPHOMET Portal. Anyway, I don't want to name the name of that channel. Everybody who's been around my channel knows the only BAPHOMET video I've made so far was to do with a guy who used to have a channel with organic portal videos, who now got his channel deleted. Suck the shit out of my ass. And ha ha ha. And he's back with a second channel now, trying to go through my website and stuff like that, and trying to act like he's more spiritual than me. But when he's a BAPHOMET Portal, when that guy talks about spirituality, by the way, he's talking about evil spirituality. Like, Baphomet is also a spirit, yeah? You see what I'm saying? So when he says spirituality, sure, he's spiritual. But what kind of spiritual, my friends? Keep your alertness up. Anyway, back to this. Leptin and ghrelin. So leptin and melatonin is what you want to focus on, and get that washing around your stomach, and you just won't feel hungry. You won't feel as hungry. So this takes a couple of days for me to get into. Other people have mentioned this too, that the first days of a fast are actually the hardest. Very, very counterintuitive, right? Because if you're new to fasting, you're like, but wouldn't it be harder, after the first 3 days, Ben? Actually, in most cases, no. Most fasts I've done, no, because you get into like ease. It's very interesting. Food is disturbing your mental state and disturbing your body. Well, these are outside molecules. That's why you have a leukocytic or leukocyte white blood cell reaction when you eat. It's well known that when you eat cooked food, when you cook anything and eat it, your body has a leukocytic reaction because it's a foreign invader. Anyway, so I just wanted to go over that. There's more here on the page. Half an hour for free is enough. If you guys are interested, and you can see how much information is here. It goes into mitochondrial here, I think right here. Goes into the mitochondria. Or is it breatharianism there? Sorry. I think this is the part where it goes into the... Oh no, that's just the breatharian part. It also goes into mitochondrial DNA. Sorry, the mitochondrial as... is this it? This page goes into mitochondria as drivers of consciousness, and you can keep reading on that. Pineal glands mentioned. There's a lot on here. So yeah, if you want a proper consultation where I can help you on different types of fast, or if you are already a faster, say you do juice fasts, I can enhance it. Say you do dry fasting, or I don't know, smoothie fasting, or fasting on just apples for a month. I can help you with all of it, because not only because I'm experienced, but because I research. I actually don't just talk off the top of my head of other people's material, like some people aforementioned in this video. Alright guys, so if you want a full consultation, get in contact with me. My email is benjam, like Benjamin, benjam, benjam, c3@yahoo.com. And you can get in touch with me and we can do a proper 2.5 hour consultation. Doesn't matter if we go 3 hours, that's fine. But I just put that it's $111 for 2.5 hours, proper full length conversation on this, and we can go into any area you want related to fasting and or health.